Turning to the race for City Council in Ward 2, Peter Butler, there the winner with 3,276 vote. His challenger, Don Wilson, received 2,198, so about a 59 to 39% split of the votes there. And Peter is joining us now in studio. Thanks for coming in today.
Thank you.
We're actually doing you the day after the election because we didn't get results. No County wasn't able to transmit the results until just before 3 a.m.
Yeah, it was a long night.
Yeah, so how did it feel to finally get those results at 3 a.m.?
Oh my gosh, it was just so exciting all at once. I wasn't sure if, a couple precincts were going to come in, and then I saw later at night that everything was going to come in. So I kept refreshing, and boom, just there's results there. And I was just blown away by everything.
All right, so you're happy to receive the support of the folks in Ward 2?
Yes, I'm super appreciative of everybody who came out, whether to vote or to campaign with me, knock some doors, donate, take a sign. It was a great campaign. I really enjoyed meeting everybody over the last 6 months or so.
Yeah, and now when you say knock some doors, you really knock some doors, right?
Yeah, so, the ward has a little over 4,000 doors, and we knocked about over 9,000, and 8,000 of those came from me. I had, my wife, some friends, some others, they knocked about another 1,000 or so to talk to folks. And it was just great because, we got a chance to talk to folks to hear what they thought was going well with the city, what they felt maybe the city needed changed. It was also fascinating just because, especially as, we got closer to Election Day, folks get exhausted with everyone coming to the door. They think maybe you're selling something. I had a name tag for a bit saying I wasn't the window guy. But it was just a great experience to really hear folks and introduce myself because, both me and Mr. Wilson were first-time candidates, so we knew there was going to be just a bit of a mystery for both of us of just getting out there and talking to people.
Yeah, and this, like you said, this was an open seat because Carrie Raybauer, who's the current Ward 2 council member, ran for state rep and actually won her race. So congratulations to her. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so, about me, I currently work for the State Department of Human Services. I'm the budget director for the Aging Disability Services part of the agency. So that's like home care, nursing homes, assisted living. And we actually help the legislature price out what all of that is going to cost every year. So the legislature writes those bills, we help edit them, and then we sort of tell them what it's going to cost. And then we're actually monitoring what the state is spending on long-term care every year. And that's about $9 billion per year. So it's about 1 in 10 of your state general fund dollars is going straight to that to take care of, people with disabilities, seniors, folks who just need a little extra help. A couple other things about me. I volunteer with the Crooked Lake Library. I'm in the Reading Bridge program, which is for kids who are, elementary age who just need a little help reading. And then on top of that, I currently am on the City Sustainability Commission, and it's just been great to, get to meet folks that way, talk about what the city can look like in the next 20 years, think about ways that, we can have a more sustainable future for everybody. My wife, Sammy, and I have been married for about 1.5 years, but we've been dating for about 8 years. We met in college, and, it's just been really wonderful being here, and I was just so excited for all this.
All right. What drove you to run? Because this is your first venture into political office. Like you said, you volunteered on the Sustainability Commission in Coon Rapids. I guess what drove you to run?
Yeah, so you had mentioned that Carrie Raybauer, the current council member, was running for a state rep. So when I saw it was going to be an open seat, I was just thinking, what other ways could I give back to my community? I love my job with the state. Yeah. I volunteer after work, whether with the library or with the Sustainability Commission. And I just talked to a couple friends about it who were kind of thinking about running or maybe weren't. And it just felt like there weren't a whole ton of folks who were enthusiastic about doing it. I do think that sometimes local government gets missed just because of all the other offices that are out there and all the other silly business going on. Yeah. And so I really do think it's important to have thoughtful, optimistic, motivated people who want to do this because there's just so much in local government that affects us, whether water getting to your house, who's going to get there if you call 911. Yep. And, I think sometimes these positions get overlooked just because they are really local. They're part-time. Yep. Folks don't always think about it when they're, looking at their ballot or even just when they wake up in the morning.
For sure. What are some of your key priorities or your plans when you take over?
Yeah, I think a couple things I'm thinking about first and foremost is redevelopment. I live on Magnolia Street right behind Shortstop, which means I live right across the street from where Jensen's used to be. That strip mall has increasingly just lost business, it's lost community, and I want to make sure that whatever we're able to do with that space, it stays a community space. A couple other things I'm really thinking about is public safety. Of course, we have some of the best police and fire departments in the state, and that means making sure that we can have competitive salaries to keep recruitment strong and to make sure that our firefighters and officers are happy. A couple other things I'm thinking about, of course, is sustainability. You know, the city did pass an energy action plan last year. There's a lot of great things in it about reducing emissions, thinking about like city infrastructure. I know we're talking about putting solar panels on the new fire station, which is going to be great. But I know that there's just more that the city can think about. There's so many current federal and state tax credits we could qualify for to try to get, you know, electric vehicle charging stations, or even just sort of thinking about like what's that new infrastructure going to look like, you know, 5, 10, 20 years down the road, to make sure that we can budget properly for it so that we don't have to put it on any taxpayer all at once.
Yeah. Well, like you said, you did knock a lot of doors. For the ones where you didn't get the door slammed in your face, what were people's priorities, or what do they want to see? What are their concerns?
Yeah, you know, I think a couple things folks talked about is they talked a lot about tree services and, you know, emerald ash borer. So whether it was dead trees in their neighborhoods or, oh, my tree got taken down and I've been waiting for my boulevard tree for, you know, 6 months, a year, whatever. You know, that came up pretty frequently. I think another thing that came up was public safety. You know, I think Coon Rapids is overall a very safe place to live.
Yeah.
I know the last few years across all of the Twin Cities Metro, we've had some ups and downs, and I think folks were just worried, even if Coon Rapids is safe today, how are we going to make sure that it stays safe for tomorrow and next year? And a couple other things I think folks really just talked about too was just, you know, housing affordability. You know, my wife and I bought our first house 2 years ago. It's one of those beautiful Thompson Ramblers from the 50s. Sometimes folks are a little surprised to learn how much we paid for it, given just how difficult the housing market is, both because of lack of supply and interest rates. So really thinking about ways to fill in that missing middle housing, both so that seniors don't feel priced out and so that young families can feel like they can stay in Coon Rapids, was something I heard really often. The amount of times I had someone say, I don't want my kid to move to Blaine, I don't want to send my mom to Isani or St. Paul or wherever the case may be, was something that came up almost daily at the doors.
Okay. Now, obviously, your day job, you're a numbers guy. Is that something you're going to be watching on here? We're kind of working on the 2025 budget going forward. You'll be digging into some of that?
Yeah, no, I love geeking out with budgets. So, you know, with my day job, we are pricing out, you know, these kind of big, large bills where, you know, little assumptions can, you know, change the price tag by tens of millions of dollars. So I'm going to try to bring that mindset when we're thinking about what our budget priorities are. You know, I did get a chance to look at sort of the preliminary 2025 budget. And it's a good, strong budget. I know that there's a lot of concerns about the levy increase, but I think compared to the county or even neighboring cities like Blaine, we did a pretty good job. You know, I'm just thinking about like what priorities might still be on the horizon with that. So again, like those type of infrastructure investments that maybe need to be priced out over multiple years. I know there's investments that the fire department's been looking to make over the last few years, and that's something that maybe next year we'll be able to look at. So I'm really excited to be able to dive into the city budget a bit more.
All right, and you'll be jumping right in here in January when you take office. It's a 4-year term, and you're kind of ready to get to work, I imagine, and work with the rest of the council.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else that you want to add that we didn't talk about?
You know, I think the one thing I just want to say is I am really excited about this. You know, I think sometimes, again, local government, maybe it's not the most exciting topic. It's something that maybe you're not thinking about when you brush your teeth in the morning. It's what I'm thinking about, though. Like, I wake up and I love what I do at work. I love what I do after work. And this is just another great opportunity to really give back to the community. So I was so enthusiastic that folks were able to vote for me last week and yesterday. And, you know, I'm ready to get to work.
All right, and obviously it can't be done without all the volunteers. I'm sure you had a lot of folks helping you on the ground to get to this point.
Yes, no, I am very lucky.
All right. Well, we appreciate you coming in the day after the election here to talk to us about your win. Peter Butler, the winner in Ward 2, and you'll be sworn into office first meeting in January.
Wonderful. Thanks for inviting me.
All right, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.